Call to order the February 27th meeting of the Shelby Township Planning Commission. Madam Secretary, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Dallo?
Here.
Ms. DeSico?
Here.
Ms. Casali?
Here.
Mr. Turner?
Here.
Mr. Apone?
Here.
Mr. Wozniak?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Great. Before I ask for approval of the agenda, I'm going to add one item under new business after the Mallow Junior High lot improvement item with the title Master Plan Adoption Process. If there are no
So moved.
objection, moved by Turner, support.
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 By Wozniak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. First item, approval of the minutes from the February 13th meeting.
So moved. Support.
By Dallas, support by Pone. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, correspondence, a letter from Stonefield Engineering regarding a zoning determination. Mr. Nguyen?
Mr. Chairman, we received a request for an interpretation regarding whether or not we would allow a hotel as a special land use in either the LM or the HM district. We've actually had not only this parcel, but there's another parcel where somebody's expressed an interest in doing a hotel. Now, the only reference to hotels in the zoning ordinance is in the C4 district, which is general commercial, and there's not much general commercial zoning. But all districts in the township zoning ordinance specifically say under special land uses, the following uses and any other uses similar to those. That was built in the ordinance maybe 30 years ago as a way of giving you the opportunity to accommodate uses that aren't specifically listed, because you can't list everything, no matter how exhaustive you are. So the question tonight is really just a procedural question. Would we allow them to submit an application? You're not specifically taking action on anything, only giving the opportunity to submit a site plan for your consideration. And given the fact that we have one hotel on Shelby Parkway, which is partially in a commercial district and partially in an industrial district, split zoned, I think it's reasonable interpretation. I wouldn't have any objection to doing that. I just didn't want somebody to submit an application, go through the expense of doing that, and find out that they come here that we can't even consider it. So it's just to kind of ask for your consideration as from a procedural standpoint, whether that would be acceptable.
Okay, very good. Are there any questions on what the engineer is requesting?
One quick question, Mr. Nguyen. Under your notation, uses and others similar, I don't have the list in front of me. What would be similar in an LM to a hotel?
Nothing really, but we have, we allow retail in there, we allow medical offices, so it's not, it's not a lodging
specific.
facility, but that's meant to just consider other uses that would be related to the district. And I think that would be related to the district, Mr. Turner, because, I think what's driving that one hotel was all that industrial.
Seems like a good spot right off the freeway, too, so, yeah, okay, thank you.
That's a good question, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman,
Dallo?
Mr. One, is the front on 23, the retail center, is that part of the hotel, or?
I think that would be separate from the hotel.
So it's not only the hotel that is requested, it's the retail also in the front?
I would imagine if they come in for a site plan, they'd submit both uses at the same time.
But at this moment, we don't have what kind of hotel this is going to be.
No, we don't have anything other than they're just showing you a sketch of what they have in mind.
Yeah, for the hotel part, I think it will be a nice mix, but hopefully we will wait for more details.
Absolutely. Well, that's why we're saying they'd have to submit a plan to us. We're just making a determination that we could allow them to submit an application.
Okay, any other questions? So as an alternative would be to force them to come to appeal for a rezoning?
Yes.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Ms. DeSico?
Go ahead. No, Mr. DeSico.
I'd like to make a motion to concur with the recommendation of the planning director that a hotel may be allowed as a special land use in the light manufacturing district.
Support.
Okay, moved by DeSico, support by Moore. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. Commissioner DeSico?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Dallo? Yes. Commissioner Casali?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes,
Commissioner Bone? Yes. Commissioner Wozniak?
Yes.
And Chair votes yes. Next item is site plan number 17-05 from the Charter Township of Shelby regarding a proposed 41A District Court building.
I guess I'm the applicant.
Okay. Do you want to come around?
No. I do not. The site plan was submitted by Fossil Khan and Associates, the township engineer, and I think they were submitting this on behalf of the 41 District Court and the Township Board for consideration. It's an 18,500 square foot building. The building is directly south of the fire station, not the police station, and there's a large field of parking in front and some additional staff parking behind. The staff parking would be accessible from the police station lot behind the building. The site is partially zoned recreational, which is a district for public uses, and partially zoned single-family, but both districts would allow this use there. So
Is there any zoning that would preclude
Pardon me?
a municipal building?
No, it's called recreational, but it was meant for township uses.
Yeah, but so in R1B, you said is an appropriate
Yes,
use?
is also
Is there any
appropriate.
zoning district that a municipal building would not be appropriate to?
Yeah, we don't usually allow them in other districts.
Just that would be the only
Yeah.
two? Okay.
In fact, we created that recreational district specifically for this site, and it applies to the whole golf course and municipal complex, except for there's a part of it's R1B kind of crosses it east to west. So there is substantial screening, existing trees along the south property line, but they're going to enhance it where it backs up to the single-family homes. So there's two issues here. Number one is the site plan issue, and we feel it's appropriate that we apply the same standards we apply to any developer to ourselves. So we did the normal site plan review and incorporated some comments. The other issue is we have to make a determination. The state law requires that before municipal facilities are expanded, that the planning commission make a determination that this is consistent with the master plan. And the existing plan always anticipated putting municipal uses or clustering them at the site, so it indeed is consistent with our plan. The engineer did a good job with the site plan. There's really very few minor comments. There's some lights posts in the parking lot. We've asked them to make sure it's a similar style to what we have in our parking lot already. And the first plan submitted, they had about 18 light fixtures. I said that's way more than you need for a building that's not open at night. So they cut those down, but we still want a detail. And there were two small comments by the fire department. Otherwise, the site plan meets all of our normal submission standards.
Are you comfortable with the amount of parking?
Yes.
It almost seems like it's too much.
Yes.
but-
They apparently asked the staff at the district court how much they felt they needed, and that's why they provided that amount. And frankly, what's nice about it is that parking can be used for other events, when it's not being used by the court. So if you have the art fair or some other activities on the campus, that parking is available. So, yeah, they did a really nice job on the plan.
Okay, to the board, any questions for the petitioner?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Turner?
Mr. Wynn, and I know Mr. Wozniak will remember this, when they built the police building, there was a great deal of discussion about this wrought iron fence. And the board made a determination they didn't want the fence, and yet this plan shows the fence back around the police station and all the way over to the court.
Right.
Has there been a change of mind on the fence, or what?
I guess I'd defer to Mr. Wozniak.
Right, no, there has been no change at all on that. I think it's on the wish list of the township engineer.
So you want us to ask them to remove it for the board?
I think it would be a good idea.
Okay.
Part of the discussions we had on the building committee was our first thought was that we wanted to build something modest, not grandiose. So, like was originally planned 10, 12 years ago. So modest was around 22,000 feet, but beginning to look at costs, we had to cut that back. And it actually got cut back, I think, a little bit too far. Under 18,000, we almost got down to 17,000. But discussing the needs of the court, that wasn't enough footage. So I think the footage that we've got here, the 18.5, should be a good compromise. It seems, without speaking for them, the judges and the court people feel that they can work in there. We'll add a probation department, and we'll have 2 full courtrooms, which we direly need. And being next to the police station will have its advantages for transfer if we need to transfer any prisoners. However, most of the arraignments now are done on TV. So it'll still be close enough so that they can do some of that. So overall, I think, going through all the planning process so far, I think we've got a good handle on it. Any other,
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
anybody else?
So no offense.
No offense. And one vote.
I'll let somebody else fight that battle. I'm not fighting. I'm just going to take the fence off.
Also wants his fence.
Yeah.
All right, to the board, any other questions? Hearing none?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Wozniak?
Yes, I move to approve site plan number 1707 for the 41A District Court Building based on the following findings. Number one, the site plan is consistent with the township's adopted master plan. Number two, the location of the building is appropriately aligned with the existing municipal campus infrastructure. Number three, adequate separation is provided between the court building and the abutting single-family neighborhood to the south to maintain privacy and prevent nuisances. 4, a revised site plan addressing all department comments is required.
Support.
And last, Township Board approval of all relevant and reasonable costs incurred during the development.
Support.
Motion's been moved and supported. Let the record reflect that Mr. Pone is here. If there are any questions on the motion, hearing none, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Wozniak?
Yes.
Commissioner Pone?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Casali?
Yes.
Commissioner DeSico?
Yes.
Commissioner Dalu?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Okay, under new business, we have 2 items. The first, sort of an FYI from the Utica Community Schools and some parking lot improvements from Mallow Junior High. Mr. Wynn, did you want to?
Yes. Thank you. We rarely get opportunities for schools. You recall when they built those 2 schools up on Shaner and 26 Mile Road, we never saw the plans. Nobody ever gave us the courtesy of having a chance to look at them. State law doesn't require the schools to do that. But apparently there's been some change, and now they have to tell us what they're doing. So this one involves just some reconstruction of their parking lot and access drive. And I didn't want to not put something on the agenda, at least to receive and file, so we had a chance to look at it. If this was a commercial site and they were doing this, we wouldn't have even required a site plan. So there's really nothing here much for us to review. They're just making some improvements to their site, facilities that already exist. So my recommendation was just to receive and file, and we'll let the district's engineer know that we looked at this.
Okay. Is there a motion to receive and file?
So move.
Moved by Turner, support by
Support.
Wozniak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next, master plan adoption process.
Right. For those of you who are here on Thursday night, we had a review of the draft plan from our consultant, and Kathleen Duffy went over the content of the plan and sort of overview of it. So now we're entering that next step is the public review process. The first thing we have to do is transmit the plan to the board and ask them to authorize our department to distribute it to all the surrounding communities, all the county and state review agencies, and they have 63 days to look at the plan. At that time, during that time, we'll also distribute it, put it on our website so we can get public comment as well. So by the time we have a public hearing, we'll have a substantial opportunity for citizen comment. But I've even given you a draft schedule. This process will probably take us through September in order to get all the adoptions. That 63 days really doesn't start counting until it goes to the board, which won't be until the end of next month. So I just wanted to give you an update and get a formal motion, because I didn't want to do it at a study meeting.
Okay, are there any questions for the planner? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Commissioner Moore.
I motion to transmit the draft master plan to the Township Board and request their authorization to distribute the draft plan in compliance with the requirements of the Michigan Planning Enabling Act.
Support.
Support by Commissioner Turner. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Pone?
Yes.
Commissioner Wozniak?
Yes.
Commissioner Casali?
Yes.
Commissioner DeSico?
Yes.
Commissioner Dalu?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Motion carries. And next, planning director's report.
I'll let Scott deal with this item. He was working with the applicant.
Okay.
Okay, it's fairly straightforward. The applicant was looking for
permission to expand their front patio along Mound Road. This is at the corners between Mound and M59 on the northwest corner. They're looking to expand by, they're looking to expand by roughly 139 to 145 seats, depending on how the arrangement goes. The only question that we had, the layout looked fine. They are looking to renovate the existing landscape on the front, but they look like they're going to be extending a little bit further south than their property line. So we're just going to request that they verify their property line before anything happens.
Okay. Any questions?
I didn't quite understand the calculation on the parking.
They have more than enough parking spaces. Essentially, what I did is, the calculation gives them a maximum number of seats. I think they have the capacity to hold 147, two people per car.
Great.
And so I just did a subtraction. They currently have a capacity for 94 parking spaces right now. I just did the difference between them, just to make sure it stood in.
Yeah, that existing landscaping out there now is really overgrown. I mean, those are junipers that have been there for probably 30 or 40 years, and this is a welcome change if they decide to do it.
So what kind of motion are you looking for?
Nothing, just information, yeah,
FYI.
just, we get these, you know, it's like, you don't see these, and I didn't want somebody to drive by and say, what did they do? We didn't see the site plan, so.
Very good. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.